Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is a very special episode in Talk with Anu. I'm talking with a very special person. She Mrs. Lakshmi Natarajan. வணக்கம் அம்மா, எப்படி இருக்கீங்க? ரொம்ப சந்தோஷம். I'm very, very happy that you are there in this show and coming and sharing your thoughts and experience with us. It matters the most to us, and especially when Mother's Day is around the corner. I'm very, very, very happy to have you here, Amma. Thank you so much. She is tuning in from Chennai. Correct, Amma? Chennai la irundhu neenga tune பண்றீங்க. Very nice. Okay, Amma, can you please go ahead and share some information about you, your place of birth, and some basic information about you.
Yeah, definitely. I was born in Kerala, a place called Pudukot. And the main part is that the place where I was born, I was married to a person who was just in opposite.
Oh.
Opposite to the place where I was born. I never knew that.
Interesting.
It's a coincidence, I'm telling you.
Okay.
Where I was born, opposite house, my would-be husband was there.
Oh, okay.
So later when I got married, I came to know that he was just opposite to the house where I was born. I was born in a very small village. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting story there.
Yeah, I was born there. Then since my father was in the army, Indian army, so we have to travel many places there. So I had a very good opportunity of traveling throughout India. Length and breadth of India, I've traveled around India very much. Yeah.
Awesome.
My earlier days, when I was very small, I was in Jalandhar. Then I came to Bombay where my grandfather brought me there. I started my studies there, my primary schooling, everything in Matunga, Bombay. SIS High School, which is very famous there. I studied there. Later, I went to Delhi. I studied 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Okay.
Then I came to Pune. I did my 9th, 10th, 11th, and 3-degree science. Then I went to Calcutta. I did my BSc.
BSc?
I want BSc.
Okay.
Bachelor of Science. We say BSc over here. There you say Bachelor of Science.
BSc.
Actually, I want to do medicine, but since I could not, I went for science, graduation in science.
Very nice.
It just started. So this is my schooling and college life.
Okay.
Still further it is there, but it will be quite lengthy.
Okay, wonderful. So I think you have traveled all over, north, south, east, and how about west? Western part?
Not much.
Okay.
Certain extent.
Okay. Which is your favorite place, most favorite place that you've been in? The places that you've traveled?
Yeah, see, I like, actually before my marriage, I thought Bombay is a very good place.
Okay.
But having settled in Chennai after my marriage, I think Chennai is best.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'm from Chennai also, so definitely on the Chennai feel, it will never come anywhere for us. So, Kandipa, definitely.
That's a very nice place to stay.
Yeah. How about the cuisines? Were you able to manage food in all these places? I think it shouldn't have been a problem being in India itself. So South India, North India cuisine, food.
That's what see, various places we have traveled, we have stayed, we have eaten all different kinds of food. So I like all kinds of food, right from North India, South India, East or West, or whatever it is.
Right.
We like mostly North Indian dishes. But having come to Chennai, I like dosa, idli, pongal, vadai, all those things are always there.
Definitely. No, that's a nice experience that I just heard from you about the travel part of it. So, how long has it been? So, like, would it have been like 40 years back? How do you see the difference from then and now, the traveling part of it?
Lot of difference. In those days when we traveled, it was really very good, enjoyable. But I feel now it's not like that.
Right.
And the cleanliness is gone.
And I think it's the individual responsibility also sometimes to take care of the property. But hopefully each person will be conscious enough to take care of the surrounding as well.
Seeing that everything is clean, they should come forward to help the government as well as surroundings.
Good. Auntie, what are your hobbies, your interests? And what have you done in your free time apart from raising your children and being in the family and doing the household? What are your interests, basically, your hobbies?
When I was in school, I used to collect lot of feathers, bird feathers.
Oh,
So that
okay.
I had collected a lot, quite a lot. After that, I used to collect stamps of various countries.
Yeah.
These were in school days. Later, slowly, I went for, I've done a lot of artwork like tie and dye, barbling, and knitting,
Hmm.
crochet. All
Okay.
these handwork I like very much.
Wonderful.
Marbling and a lot.
Very
These are
nice.
all mine.
Actually, this was made by my mother. So
Oh,
she does all these kind of crafts. And it's a pen stand she gave. I put some flowers, and
right.
these are jewelry she made, actually silk thread jewelry. So all the jewelry that I wear for shows are made by her. It makes me happy also that
That's
I just wear something she makes. So it's really a blessing to have moms like you. We are so blessed, auntie. And
actually, I never used to waste, I mean, like to waste time like this, you know. Whenever I used to get time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I used to do something and I learn quite a lot.
so
I
nice.
like to learn throughout my lifetime and do something.
Very nice, very nice. So um, I know you are in India and your daughter is here. So I'm sure every parent will miss their children and not being with them. We personally we feel so very difficult in this situation, not being with you all. And I've recently discussed with some of my friends how they feel. We all have the mutual feeling. We all have the same feeling. We are unable to be with parents at the most important time and be with them and all. How does it feel for you? How I know even my mom, she keeps praying for me, she keeps talking to me. At least 1 hour I spend every day talking to her. It makes me happy. Without listening to her voice, the day never starts. So how does it feel for you, auntie?
See, one thing I tell you, reality. Okay, this feeling is apart. Yeah, I have always told my daughter, you should learn to live alone. Don't feel lonely. You should be alone. See, wherever you are, a particular time, you cannot be together. Even in India, if she would have been here, we would not be together for a long time. And once you're married, you should be with in-laws, whether you're here or there, wherever you are, you'll be happy. And as you said, as your mom prays for you, I always keep praying for them, for their well-being, for everybody's well-being, in fact. And I do that prayer, that's all. And she's happy about it. See, first comes their life, their health, everything, health, everything comes. So I keep sincerely a pray.
Very nice, auntie. So
I
nice
do
to
feel, I do feel that they're far away, but you cannot help it. Reality, isn't it? You have to accept it.
very nice to actually hear this experience and the way you've accepted the truth. And it's so lovely, auntie. And I think mom's prayers really keeps us going every day. Provides us the energy. And அந்த குரல் கேட்டாலே வந்து அவ்வளவு சந்தோஷமா இருக்கும். And the Mother's Day around the corner, everybody would have the same feeling, I guess. So it's really nice. And the best part is to travel. When we are traveling there to meet our parents, that's the exciting part for all of us here. So
Yes.
thank you so much for sharing that experience and feeling. And coming to the most important topic, auntie, I heard that you are a cancer survivor. Please share with us your journey and a little more information on that.
Yeah. See, in the year 2012, I was working as a principal in Haridwar.
Okay.
I had a lot of work to do over there, being the principal of the school, the 12th standard people, children going for exam, 10th standard. So I didn't have time to go to the doctor to check. I had a small tumor like near my this part. What do you call
Okay.
it? I never paid much. I didn't care for it. I said it will go away. Then before that, when I was 58 years old, I had a massive heart attack or whatever it is. I do not know. I was totally unconscious. Nothing was known. I was taken to the doctor. So the pacemaker is implanted. So for that, I had to go to the doctor just for a checkup. So when I went there, I had a small block in my heart. So they said you have to, a stent has to be fixed. So that was fine. So So that I had to go for checkup. So when I went to the cardiologist. I told him that I've got a small tumor nearby. What should I do? He said, you better go to the gynecologist and find out what is it. So immediately I went to the gynecologist. The lady, she saw me. She said, it's 100% it is cancer. I said, okay, then what should I do? Then I came to the cardiologist again. I told him about this. And he said, then you go to the department, cancer department. So I went there. When I went there, they asked me to do blood test. Immediately I went for a blood test and they said it is 100% cancer. I said, okay, then I went to the doctor. I said, what next I have to do? See, when something has come, you should go to overcome that. Nothing can be done. So I went. Then they said, you need cancer department, head of the department. I went there, I asked the doctor. He tested everything. He was a very nice gentleman. I don't remember. It was in Dehradun, near Haridwar. So he said it has to be operated. So you have to fix a time and then find out when it has to be. I said, okay, give me some time. Inside the campus itself, I went and talked to my. See, I have got a very good guru. We call her Divine Mother, Tara Mataji. With her blessings, I am like this now. Pavitra is also like that. My mother, everybody, like generations, we have been praying to her. And immediately I called Tara Mataji. I wanted to find out what should I do. She said, you wait, I'm coming, I'll come and then we can decide. So I told the doctor, you give me some time. So I came back I was staying in the school over there. So I came back. Then she told me that you don't go for any operation here in this place because that department is very new. The cancer department is very new in that place. So she said, you better go to Chennai. Chennai Adyar Cancer Institute is very famous and we have good doctors over there. So I said, okay, then I came here. Then here I met the doctor. A very good doctor in Cancer Institute, Adyar Cancer Institute. She said, her name is Varuna Chandrasekhar. She only operated. She was very happy when I told her that I'm from Haridwar. She said, oh, I know Haridwar, even I have an ashram over there, I go there. And she was very happy. We had a very good talk there. Then she fixed a date and all other procedure like you have to undergo so many tests, scan, TT scan, this, that, and all, everything I had to undergo. But one thing I never got scared. But when I saw people around me, they were crying and their relatives all near and crying and soothing them. Why was it? I said, what is there to cry? I never felt that you have to cry over this, brood over this. This has come, okay. There are so many, what do you say, diseases around, isn't it? Like heart attack, I've got one. Pacemaker is there. Just one more added to that. My body needs all those things. I said, let it be there. Let me invite one more guest into my body. So I underwent an operation. The operation I told my husband. Only my husband was there. I didn't tell my mother. I didn't tell any of my relatives that I've got cancer because they'd be worried. Even Pavi, I did not tell. I never told disclose. And I told my husband, you don't worry, I'll be in the hospital, even you don't come. Whatever they give me there, I'll eat there, I'll be happy. Don't trouble yourself. But at night, I told you come and stay with me in case for any emergency, you have to be there. Then we used to. I was there maybe for 21 days in the hospital. It was okay. Everything is fine. Nothing to worry about. What I feel is, it is there. These diseases are there. You should not overcome that. There is nothing to be afraid of. Don't get afraid of anything. Undergo the treatment. So the best treatment are given. See, India is not a backward country. You get everything over here. There's no need to go to any other country for your treatment. Everything is there over here. Yeah. And they take care of the patients very well. You listen to the doctors, you just go according to whatever they say, you can overcome anything. And diseases are nothing nowadays.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I mean, just listening to this story, it makes me feel how courageous you were in a very difficult situation. People face so many difficult situations, and this is one of the most difficult. We have heard about it, we are hearing stories, and how you handle the situation is really, really very inspiring to know about this, auntie. And I'm on the verge of crying, but I'm just controlling it since I'm sitting in front of the camera. It's really very nice, auntie. Very motivating to listen to the story. And you have not informed any of your relatives. Of course, every single person has a different emotion when they listen to such stories, and you try to handle all this alone. And it's very nice to hear the story itself. And thank you so much for sharing this, and thank God for being there with you, and He's answered all the prayers, and really very nice. So how long?
I would like to say, after I overcame all these things, then I became a volunteer in their cancer institute. So there are many people who are illiterate and they do not have money to spend and all those things. And I used to give a lot of advice, counselor like I was. And I should tell them, I told them what to do, how to do. And they were very happy with it. In a month, I used to go and meet them in their ward, sit with them, talk to them, and what to be eaten, how to take care, all those things. And even now, I keep going. They call me, and I have given 2-3 videos about it in Hindi, English, and Tamil also. How to overcome this fear.
Okay, awesome.
And book has also. They have published one book in Adyar Cancer Institute.
Oh, okay. So, what is the name of the book that was published, and what?
I don't know that such a big register, like
Okay, okay. Okay, awesome.
I haven't got a copy of it.
Okay, definitely. So when you try to share your experience on how not to be fearful during the situation, what are different things that kept you busy and that kept your mind going? Did you try to watch some kind of movies or things like that, or activities? Did you try to speak to someone over the phone? What are some of the activities during that phase which kept your mind controlled? Did you try meditation?
Yeah, I do a lot of, as I told you, I have got Divine Mother with me, Tara Mataji. So I used to read a lot of books, like, shloka books, and I like bhajan singing. I used to sing within myself, bhajans. I used to listen to a lot of songs, devotional songs. And above all that, I used to go and talk to people and help them.
Very nice.
That always, motivated me. And when I hear somebody's sorrow, their sickness, so when I get an idea how to help them, that I can also overcome my shortfalls or whatever. With that, I learned better.
I think by talking to another person and listening to their story, and we compare ourselves to the similarity that we have, and that comforts us and as well as them. It also comforts them. I think speaking out is the main part of it.
Talking to one another, when they say something, then we can, as you say, we can compare. And suppose we have gone wrong, we can rectify ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. So when you said that you read books, is there any specific book that you remember reading those times? Is there any favorite book that you have?
Yeah, actually, when I was in school days and college, I used to read a lot of detective novels like Perry Mason. Okay. Now I read only very philosophical books.
Okay.
Story books.
Awesome. So you said Adyar Cancer Institute, right? I think that's where I did my schooling also. I used to see Adyar Cancer Institute every single day when I come out of my school. I see a lot of patients there sitting outside talking to one another. It's the support that one person gives to the other person. I think that's the beauty of the mankind. Definitely. You've done a great job there, speaking to people. Speaking out is the main part that we need to do. Instead of keeping it within, if you share the story to another person, that definitely will give some kind of motivation to the other person, spread positivity. So you've done a great job there, auntie. I'm so happy to have this conversation with you, and you have come a long way, and this is motivating for us youngsters as well. When we look at you, it's a story for us to be inspired about, and be brave enough during a tough time and fight for it and come out of it. So nice to see your smiles there, really. And I'm so happy that you have a wonderful family, a supportive family, your husband, your daughter, your granddaughter, and share some good memories with your granddaughter when you were talking to her on phone. What are some things that you really liked and enjoyed?
Granddaughter is a real special granddaughter, I should say. She's a very nice, pleasing girl.
Okay.
She calls me Chinchu Pati. Chinchu Pati. Chinchu, when she was very small, born, I used to call her Chinchu. Chinchu means small, just like that, word which I got it, so I used to call Chinchu. So she's Chinchu Pati. Chinchu Pati, you take this now, this medicine you have to take, this you have to take, all that. She was very caring, like. And she likes to sing bhajans with me. She likes to learn many things, stories. She's a very nice girl.
Very nice.
Very sweet.
That's the bond between the grandparent and the grandchild, telling stories and things like that. And I think you will have that in memory for a long time. They will have it for a very long time as they grow. And these are some things that can never be replaced with any modern technology. I think the grandchild and grandparents love.
One thing I would like to tell here is that when I was very small, I used to go for work. I had a lot of work in the school. So my mother used to tell stories to my daughter. They both had a very good bonding, like my daughter and my mother, grandparents, as you said. They had a lot of common things to share. That is how she's brought up.
So beautiful. Yeah, my first guest was Pavitra. Actually, I started this talk show during COVID time. Auntie, the main reason I started this is because during COVID, people didn't know what to do. We were all locked down inside the home. We didn't know, we cannot go outside, talk to people in person. So I thought of starting this show and talking through virtual means. Pavitra was my first guest, and we spoke like so casually, or phone like as if talking on a phone, but we just talked so many things, and that inspired many people outside when they saw this interview, and when they heard us talking. It inspired many people about the activities that we did. Then they all felt we went through the same situation together. So I think speaking to one another is really helping a lot. So
I'm sorry to say that. That is very important because these days the technology has overpowered us. Isn't it? Everybody with a mobile and nobody wants to talk to anybody. You should know to talk to people. Right. Pavi likes to talk a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's exactly like me. When we both connect together, we won't leave even a microsecond free. We will be talking so much, and that's the energy both of us have. And it's so nice to have similar people with so much energy. I give her energy, she gives me energy. It's motivating one another. So it's really nice.
Talk should be there. Nice talk. Very healthy talk should be there. So everybody will be happy. You'll be free of tension.
Exactly. So nice, Auntie. Very nice to hear these stories. How do we motivate one another?
Now, what I want to tell you that, see, for anything, you should have a strong base for anything. Fear, it comes because you don't have much experience with anything, then you fear about it. What I feel, you first learn what it is. There's nothing to fear, like, nothing to be afraid of. So for that, the base is only the scripture. That's what I have learned in my days of traveling all these years. Now I'm 70 plus. So what I feel, scripture, Hindu scripture, whatever it is very, very strong for anybody to give that support when you are alone, when you don't have people around you, when you have to undergo so many difficulties. You bring into your brain the scriptures that you have read, which is soothing you. Any 2 lines, any 4 lines, or any song, any story connected to the epics, if you bring that, then you know how those people have undergone the difficulties, difficult time, how they're brave enough. So that will come in front of you. That will give you a lot of energy for you to come.
Excellent.
You can overcome anything. That is the main energy which is required now. So
Excellent.
we say you have to sit, meditate, everything. Meditation does not come in 1 or 2 days. But if you keep learning good things, the good things will change inside you and bring the better in front of you, and you'll be very powerful, energetic.
Very nice, Auntie. I'm really thankful for you for sharing all these things, Auntie. Once again, happy Mother's Day to you, Auntie. Let's keep talking like this. I feel so energized talking to you, Auntie. Thank you so much.
Tell your mummy also, happy Mother's Day. For everybody whoever is there around you, every mother, the whole world, all the mothers. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you so much for sharing your story.